A perfect macaron has beautiful smooth shell with gorgeous ruffled feet that are less than half the height of the shell, and I think my macaron recipe fits to all those criteria. Hello everyone, in this video I am going to outline my exact process and ingredients to make beautiful vegan macarons. I am hopeful that this video will help you to succeed right off the bat. If not, don't give up, change up your oven temperature, search the internet for answers, and that's what I did. I failed many times before getting to the exact recipe. I learned many things from my failures, so here I'm going to share the foolproof recipe to make beautiful macarons at home. You are feel free to even send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube to help troubleshoot if they are really getting to you. Watch this video till the end, and without wasting any time, let's move on to the recipe. The first thing you need to do is prepare your aquafaba. I'm using canned chickpea beans here. First open the can, then drain the beans and add the liquid to a saucepan. From one can I got about 2/3 cup of aquafaba, but for this recipe we will be needing 3/4 cup of aquafaba, so take the measurement accordingly. Now transfer the saucepan onto stove top and reduce the liquid by about a third. So we need to reduce the liquid till it reaches 1/3 cup. Now take out the liquid into a glass and now transfer this into refrigerator and let it rest for minimum 2 to 3 hours. I prefer overnight, so when I want to make macaron I make aquafaba a day before. Next day you will notice that your liquid will come to jelly consistency, and this is gonna replace egg in our recipe. Now the second step is to measure out all the ingredients we are going to use for this recipe. So this is the list of the ingredients. You will definitely need a kitchen scale that weighs grams. Cups measurement won't work here. So first measure almond flour that we are going to take 110 grams. Keep this aside, and now we are going to measure the same amount of powdered sugar. Next goes in 66 grams of granulated sugar. And now we are going to mix almond flour and powdered sugar together. Make sure that we are mixing powdered sugar and not granulated sugar here. Now in order to incorporate well, I am using food processor to mix almond flour and powdered sugar. Give them few pulses. If you don't want to use food processor, make sure you sieve the mixture for at least 3 times. And now I'm going to sieve the mixture to get rid of big chunks if there is any. Now discard any large bits that don't sift. And now this mixture is ready, so keep this aside. And the third step comes in cleaning your mixing bowl and gather your all the supplies. Even the smallest speck of grease or fat of any kind will kill your meringue before it even starts. To prevent this, make sure you wash the bowl really well in hot water with a dish soap. Dry them with a clean paper towel and then use. Also keep spatula and food color handy. You will also be needing piping bags. A tall glass with a wide mouth will help you fill your piping bags with batter. So keep this ready. Also set silicone mats or parchment paper to line your baking pans with. I recommend parchment paper over silicone mat as the parchment paper absorbs the moisture underneath the macaron, but I use silicone mat and that works fine as well. And now finally we are ready to make macarons. Keep the balloon whisk attached to the mixer. Set your mixer bowl and add reduced aquafaba in it. Turn the mixer up to medium-high speed initially. You can also use hand mixer here, but if you have stand mixer, then I would recommend to use that as it's gonna take some time. Once the liquid turns foamy like this, add cream of tartar. The use of cream of tartar here is to help stabilizing the meringue. I don't think the brand matters at all here. I just grab whatever is easiest to reach. Now turn the mixer on and let it come to the stage where the meringue has soft peaks. If you are not following me on Instagram, make sure to follow me there as I share my food and gardening updates there. Also, don't forget to subscribe as I'm gonna share another way of making vegan macaroons soon on my channel. When the meringue is at soft peaks, which means that when you lift the whisk out of the fluff, it forms little mountains that fall over and wiggles a lot. At that point of time, start adding granulated sugar little bit at a time. And now continue to whip until the aquafaba achieves stiff peaks. The whole whipping from beginning to end should last about 10 to 12 minutes. So be patient and wait until it comes to the stiff peaks. Increase the speed to highest setting and continue whisking. You will have a very glossy meringue like this. Stiff peaks is characterized by a pointed bake that stands vertically and doesn't droop on itself. Now clean the whisk and remove the mixer bowl. And now add sifted dry ingredients, that was almond flour plus powdered sugar to whipped aquafaba. Add little bit at a time and start folding with a spatula slowly. Once you are done adding all the mixture, add gel food coloring if you are using any. Don't use water-based food color here, it's gonna ruin all your meringue. And now using the back of the spatula, press the mixer on the side of the bowl as you fold it in. Don't be afraid to be quite forceful when mixing it and make sure you scrap the bottom and sides of the bowl. The consistency of batter is very important here. You don't want to overfold the batter, so always be in between. Underfolding and overfolding batter is pretty much where most macarons batches go bad. The folding itself is not difficult, but figuring out when to stop is. And now I'm gonna show you what I'm trying to achieve is, this is called figure 8 test, where you will be able to make figure 8 without breaking batter in between. So keep on folding and testing until you reach to this consistency. Always taste the consistency of batter after few strokes. This is very important step. As you can see, we are almost there now. At this point of time, the batter will start to look glossy. This is a very important part of making macarons, and telling if the batter is ready is a skill that comes with a lot of practice. The another way to check if the batter is ready or not, grab some batter from your spatula and make folds. The batter should fall effortlessly, and if it melts back into the batter within 20 seconds, you are done. It should ooze like lava. You can see that the folds have blended completely into the batter in 20 seconds. So at this point you have to stop and no more folds. Now this batter is ready to make macarons. Pour the batter in piping bag, and when you are ready to pipe, close the top of the bag and untwist. Pipe directly down onto the baking sheet or parchment paper and make circles and spaced slightly apart, as the macaron will spread when cooking. I like to count to 5 as I do each one to try to be consistent in size. If you are making this for the first time, I will recommend you to make 4 trays with few macarons on each. This will help to know the perfect oven temperature on which macaron gets feeds. Carefully but forcefully knock the trays against your worktop 2 to 3 times to release any air bubbles. Do you see those air bubbles? This is very small step but very important. I missed it once and my macarons exploded from the top. If you have stubborn bubbles, you can pop them with the help of toothpick. Now leave them to dry out for an hour or longer, maybe 2 to 3 hours, until the tops are dry to touch. If you are living in a place where humidity is more, it's gonna take long time. In short, you have to wait until the surface is dry to touch. This step is what gonna give nice fits to our macarons, so don't skip this. Once you see that the macarons are no longer shiny and you can lightly run your finger along the surface without it sticking to your fingers, it is the time to put them into the oven. Use middle rack or top rack to bake the macarons. My macarons were done in 30 minutes. After 20 minutes of baking, turn off the oven and then let it be into the oven for another 10 minutes, and then open the door and take them out. Don't attempt to remove your macarons as soon as they are out of the oven. Wait until they are totally cool and they should peel right off. If they don't, pop the tray into the freezer for 3 to 5 minutes and then they will. You can see the nice feet of all the macarons. They are even and have smooth top surface. Today I'm gonna give Indianized touch to the French macarons, and I'm gonna fill them with Kesar Elaichi Shrikhand. I have already uploaded the Shrikhand recipe on my channel, and I will also share the link in the description box below. Trust me, you have to try this recipe as they taste heavenly good. If you wish, you can garnish them with some chocolate pearls on the side. Or spray some edible glitter on the top for nice and shiny macarons. I hope you liked today's video. Please comment below if you have any query regarding this recipe. Hit subscribe and like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with the another great recipe.